Okay, good evening, and today, as I promised you, I'm going to show you how to sketch the diagram for the CAD model for the part number 2 in the CAD modeling assessment. So you remember that these are the engineering drawing we have. I may miss some of the details, but well, actually it's look good. I almost didn't miss anything here. So anyway, so I will follow these engineering drawings, these details, and again to make the part you remember it in the assessment sheet, which is this one we're talking about, this part, the second one. Okay, this part. So take a look at the details once again. Remember that this shape is elliptical shape. We have an offset, and we have the pockets, 4 pockets, and 1 cylinder in the middle, cutted with the slot, and a cylindrical cut inside. So you have to follow the following steps I'm going to do, starting from how to get the SolidWorks from the workspace at the UTS. So first I'm using the VMware Horizon client to go to the workspace. Double click on the workspace. I have to enter my username and password, 1948281, and it will take me to the workspace list of programs. So this is the list of program we have. If you're doing air conditioning later, you are going to use the Camel. You know how to use the project, of course. The MATLAB is essential thing. For the CFD you have the answers, but now I'm going to concentrate on the SolidWorks, and the SolidCam is going to be done later, and I'm going to show the SolidCam because I already gave you the video, so no need to explain the SolidCam for you. So it's going to take some time to make the connection. Okay. Yeah, okay, now here start this SolidWorks, and it's loading the registry. Okay, you have to accept the SolidWorks license agreement. So loading the add-ins, accept the simulation license agreement. Okay, now we got the SolidWorks. Now before we go further to the SolidWorks, your colleague Siti Noor was actually she was telling the right thing, but she didn't finish the work. So anyway, so if you would like to save anything on USB drive, well, it's not only for SolidWorks, if you're using any of those softwares, so simply click here. If you go to the USB devices, now we don't have any USB device. Close that, and I'm going to insert my USB device now to my computer. Okay, then I will check the list once again. The USB device, now I already have it. Okay, so I go to USB now there. Now I'm going to show you later how we're going to save the file on this USB drive. So go back to the SolidWorks. To start the SolidWorks new part, click here. Some folders, yes. Okay, so select part. Now we have the panel on the side, so we can simply start to do the sketching. I told you earlier that I hate this gray background, so I always have to change this one to be a plain white. Yeah, it's more friendly user. And then I will go to the sketch and start my first sketch. Now I have the 3 plane to work on it, because we are going to move all the G code, as you remember, in the XY plane. So we have to do on the XY plane, which is the front plane, is the XY plane. Click here. Now this is my origin point. From here I will start to make a block, then I will start to remove the material exactly as we do in the machining to form the part we are going to use. So click on the rectangular. Now to be too accurate, if I'm going to put the pen here, it's not going to show me it's 0, 0 at the bottom. So scroll down to get it closer to the origin point. Now click here, now it's 0, 0. Make your rectangular shape. We would like to have a square, so it's going to be 100 by 100. Okay, so I use this method because I think it's going to be much easier than the scaling thing or the dimensioning thing. Just write down this 100, and the other side is going to be 100. Now I had this square of 100, 100, and it's just a plane. I have to take it to a block, so simply I'm going to do the extrude of the base. Now I have to take it to the height of 30 millimeters here. 1, 2, okay, so this 30 millimeter. Now that's the block I'm going to use to cut off the material to have the shape required. So as you can see here, this will be the x-axis, this line is the x-axis, this line is the y-axis, and the vertical one here is going to be the z-axis according to the coordination we have for the SolidWorks. Now let's take a look to the engineering drawings once again. So that's what we have. We have elliptical shape in the middle with the radius going to be equal to 40 millimeter plus p divided by 2. Now you know what the p is, it's already mentioned in the assignment sheet. And for the r small, because you know that I will show that in the SolidWorks. But anyway, the r capital is the largest radius of the elliptical shape. The r small is the smallest radius. So the standard one, if your p value is equal to 0, then the r is going to be equal to 40. If it's going to be equal to 2 or 1, is going to be 40.5, and so on. The maximum value for the p is going to be 9, so the maximum value of the capital R is going to be 44.5. Here the maximum value is going to be 34.5, and the minimum value is going to be equal to 30 millimeters. So now how to sketch the elliptical shape. I'm going to start to work on the top surface. So click on that, highlight it, and then sketch, and this will be my sketch plane. Sketch a line, because the center to be found for the elliptical shape, sketch a point. Be sure it's going to be for construction line, because this is not part of your work, from the 0, 0 point up to the 100, 100 point. Okay, I had the line. So this imaginary line, the center point, which is going to be of course 50, 50, 50x, 50y, is going to be the center of my elliptical shape. Now that's the elliptical shape. You can see that we have the ellipse, we can have the partial ellipse, we can have the parabola, and we have the conic. So again, to go for the ellipse, find where will be the center point. Here is going to be highlighted. I should get it closer. Okay, now this will be highlighted. That's the center of my line. So as you can see, it's going to be on 50x, 50y coordination. Now be sure to have the longest side is going to be in this direction. So put something approximate 41 along this line, click, and you decide what will be the shortest one, and click it on 29.95 for example. Now here you can change the parameters. I will use the 40 for the capital R and the 30 for the small r. Now that's my ellipse on the face. Now it's mentioned here on the engineering drawings, engineering drawings is here, that the large elliptic is going to be offset by 4 millimeters. Okay, now this is the ellipse we sketch, is the inner one. The outer one is offset by 4 millimeter. So simply select offset intensities to the outside. That's 10. I'm going to take it to 4. Click OK. Now what I would like to do first is just remove all the materials outside the bigger elliptical shape. To do that, we're going to do the features, extrude, cut it. Now of course it's going to do the cut between the two elliptical shape. That's not the one I would like to have. So do the select contours and choose anything outside, and the I think it was 6 millimeters. 6 millimeters. Enter. So I just remove around the elliptical shape 6 millimeters. So that's the shape after the first removal of the material. Now we didn't finish the joy. We'll continue to do the work. So the thing is, now I would like to have and extrude it from the inside. Now you remember that this elliptical shape is offset by 4 millimeters from the original one. So I would like to get the old one back. So what I'm going to do is sketch on this highlighted surface, sketch, and then I'm going to do just the convert of the intensities. Now the use of the convert of the intensities, now we don't have any line sketch here. Okay, I would like to make sketching a line along the highlighted edge. So just convert the intensities. I got the black line has been generated. Can you see that? That's the black line we're talking about. Now I can offset this line. So I can do the offset of the intensities for this line. 4 millimeter. This line is going to be reversed to the inside. I get back my original ellipse, which have, you can check that, is going to have the let's have the 30 by 40 millimeter for the radiuses. This is considered as supply in this case, because you can see we have the point here. Okay. Okay, so anyway, it's going to be the same dimensions. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this one down to 6 as well. I was able to do it the previous step, but I changed my mind, because usually I make the circle here in the middle. Oh, I can do the circle, why not? Okay, so no, I will take the long way. I was able to do it, as I told you earlier, the previous step. So I will do the extrude cut, and I'm going to do it for the inner contour by 6 millimeters. Okay, so I went it down. Okay, this was extra step because I just do it without the planning. Okay, and now I would like to make this cylindrical shape in the middle, as you can see here, which have the following dimensions. So the biggest circle have the diameter radius of 15 millimeters. The inner one is going to be 11 millimeters. So I'm going to sketch this one at the beginning. So how to find the center here is going to be the task. The best thing to do that is select this face, make a sketch, choose a line for construction. Once again, it's going to start from here. And finish it to there. Well, actually, I'm doing the wrong thing, but it's not the wrong thing, but actually I'm doing the long way. When I actually did it, I did all the elliptical shape and the circle at the same time. Then I did the cut. Well, I can repeat it for you. Don't worry about that. So I will have a circle which is going to use this center to do the work. And take it to the radius of 15 millimeters. Okay, and I can sketch another circle inside, or I can simply just offset this one by 4 millimeter to the inside, and then I'm going to do the extrude of the base by 6 millimeter. Now I got the shape. Okay, now as I told you, this was an extra step. I shouldn't do that. Okay, now the hardest task is going to be about how to make the cross shape. Again, I'm going to click here on this face, and I'm going to do the sketch. Make line starting from here. Zero, zero, ending at the 100, 100. Another line is going to be crossed with this one, starting from the 0 100, stop at the 100 0. Okay, now that's what we can see from the top. Now if I'm going to compare that to the engineering drawings, now you can see that this side is going to have the thickness of 8 millimeters, while this one is going to have thickness of 6 millimeters. How to get that? I'm going to click on this line, do the offset of the intensities. It's 4 bi-directional. Now the distance between these two lines is 8. Click OK. Do the same for this line. Okay, I'm going to do the offset. Change this number to 3 instead of 4. Now the distance between these two lines is going to be equal to 6. Now this takes us to nowhere at the moment. The best thing we have to do the following: click on this surface and choose this edge and the inner edge of the circle. Now you have to click using control, and you are going to choose both. Convert these intensities. That means we sketch a line on the edge of the elliptical and the edge of the cylindrical shape. Now let's see how we can do the work. Now use the term intensities. So everything I'm going to cut is going to be the unuseful part for us. So we don't need the one in the middle as well. And I don't need these lines. Okay, I got something similar to what I want. Now I'm going to make the pockets. So I will go to the features, extrude cut, select in the contours, this one, this one, this one, and that one. Now this one is going by 6 millimeter. I just want to get 4 millimeters, as you remember. Okay, so the second one is going to be by 4. Well, okay, 6. Sorry, 6, 6. Yeah, let's make it 12. So 6. It's not 6 once again. Okay, okay, and now we have the pockets. Now, as you can see here, the pockets have sharp edges, and that's impossible to be done by using the milling machine. What we have are going to be a fillet. Yeah, a fillet with 4 millimeter diameters. Okay. Now 4 millimeter radius. If my fillet is 4 millimeter radius, that means that my cutting tool have 8 millimeter diameter. Now to make the fillet, simply what I'm going to do is following. Click on the fillet. Here choose 5 millimeters, 4 millimeters. Be sure that you are going to have the full preview. Click full preview. And then I will start to choose my edges. So just simply choose all the edges we have here. 4 by 4, 16 edge should be selected. 1, 2, 3, 4. My mouse is bent. 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. What's happened to my mouse? Okay. 11, 12, 14, 15. Where's the missing one? 16. So when I'm going to accept the fillet, that's the shape I'm going to have. Click. Okay, done. Now what we have to do now is going to be the cut here, and this one should go to the depth of 5 millimeters, extra 5 millimeters. Now let's start with this one. Click on this face, do the sketch, do the convert into entities. Now we have a circle. Features, extrude cut for this one by 5 millimeters. 5. Click OK, done. Now we finish with this one. Now to make the slot cutting on the cylindrical shape. So you can see that this one is going to be actually it's going to be actually just horizontal across the AA section. So this shouldn't be a hard task, and its depth is going to be equal to 6 at the same time. So that's what we're going to do. Now I click on this face, the top face, and do the sketch here. Do the convert entities for the inner and the outer edge. Convert entities, I have 2 circles. Now the only thing I'm going to do is sketch a line from this side to that side. This line will be simply offset entities by 4 bidirectional. Okay, and now I'm going to remove anything I'm not going to use, which is the inside lines, this center line, and say OK. Now simply extrude cut for this one and that one by 6 millimeters, and bingo, I got the shape. Okay, so that's it. Now the next step is going to be, of course, running the SolidWorks and so on. Now to save the part, because this is the most important thing, click here, save as, and then you will see that what we have here on the list is going to be for this PC. Okay, now we have the document and we have the W. I think the W is going to be the part we're looking for. SolidWorks. Oh, wait a second, it's not defined yet. I just got something. Okay, now cancel that. Let's go back to here once again, do the setting, and USB device is already shared. And for the sharing, now you can see that this one is not included. Choose this one, add. I forgot its name actually. It's not my USB. Yeah, it's actually that's one. This one. So, okay. Okay, and then the application we are going to have. Okay, it's already there. It's already there. Okay. Share local files, allow access, don't show when connected. Okay. That's strange. don't know exactly, but if I get to use my other USB drive, it's going to work without any problem. So let's check that. Go back once again to this one. I'll remove the USB I'm using, the Alcor one. Okay, close that. Okay, then I'm going to add the other USB drive, which is it's going to be defined as the Toshiba one. So as you can see here, if I get to go for the USB, the Toshiba already shared. Apply. Okay, should be shown here now. File, save as. Yeah, now this one is already being shown now. Okay, then I can simply put the part 1, or I will call it the assessment 1 part 2 CAD cam. Okay, and save it. I already have it now on my USB drive. Okay, now my advice is try multiple USBs, and in all the cases I'll try to show you that maybe there's another way to do the thing. So I will take my USB first out. Let's use. Okay, so I will save this one another place. It's taking time to download. I will save it on the cloud itself, document, and save it there. And so this will allow me to take this USB out. Okay, now let's try to install the other USB. Definitely there is a way to do that, and this shouldn't be a hard one, because actually this system meant to help us, not make us suffer. Okay, so back once again to the horizon, set up USB device, connect, redirection for USB device, Alcor Microsoft storage device is unavailable because some of the folders are not being used by the folder redirection. Just give me 1 second, I will try to get another USB. Let's try the other one. Close it and refresh it. Okay, scan disk. Okay, now I don't get this one. Redirection is unavailable because some of the folders are being used by the folder redirections. Okay, do not show dialog when connecting over local file. So what's happening if I get to remove that? Okay, so it's the D. It's the D. Okay, so apply. Okay. Now let's see if we can do that now. Save as. So yeah, now it's shown. Okay, so now it's worked. So I'm going to save it on the other USB as well. Save, and it should be there. Okay, now we sketched the part, and we also did the saving for the part from the horizontal and external hard drive. Okay, so that's it for the tutorial. Again, to upload this video for